Tennis unites Eala's powerful defense of. Gauff sparks global solidarity after. Wuhan Open incident. The 2025 Wuhan Open was shaping up to be another celebration of world-class tennis, dazzling rallies, roaring crowds, and the thrill of competition. Among the stars was Coco Gauff, the 19-year-old American phenom, who had already captured global attention with her fearless style of play and magnetic presence on and off the court. But that night, as she stepped onto the court for her semifinal match, what was meant to be a showcase of skill became a stage for something darker. A wave of hostile jeers erupted from the stands, racial slurs and insults aimed directly at her. Fans watched in shock as objects were hurled onto the court, narrowly missing her as she poised serve. The arena buzzed with tension, the air heavy with disbelief and fear. For a moment, the world seemed to pause. Tennis, a sport celebrated for its grace and respect, was confronted with raw hate. And yet, Coco did the unimaginable. She stood, tall, composed, and refused to let the darkness define her performance. Her resilience was inspiring, but the instant demanded more than personal strength. It required solidarity, outrage, and the need for action. The videos went viral within minutes. Social media erupted. Hashtags like #StandWithCou and #TennisAgainstRacism trended globally. Fan journalists and fellow athletes voiced shock and condemnation. But amid the flurry of commentary, one voice rose above a noise. Eala, the young Filipino star, already admired for her skill and discipline, shared a post that would ripple across the tennis world. No one should be attacked for the color of their skin, not in sport, not anywhere. Coco stood tall when the world tried to break her, and that's what true strength looks like. Eala's words were more than statement. They were a call to action. She refused to let the incident fade as just another viral outrage. Her post struck a chord not only with fans, but also with players across the globe, galvanizing the tennis community into a unified voice against hate. Eala, a rising voice of courage. Eala's own journey had been marked by challenges. From Manila to the global stage, she had faced skepticism and subtle bias, with critics questioning her ability to compete at the highest level. Yet she persevered quietly, demonstrating that talent and determination could defy expectation. When she saw Coco attacked, Eala recognized a familiar struggle, the pressure being young, female, and scrutinized an arena where prejudice still lingers. Coco's strength in that moment reminded me of everything I faced. Eala said in a live interview, she didn't just represent herself. She represented all of us who've ever felt marginalized. Standing up for her is standing up for what is right. Her advocacy resonated because it came from authenticity. It wasn't performative. It was personal. From outrage to global solidarity. Within hours of Eala's post, a groundswell of support emerged. Players like Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, Angeber, and Naomi Osaka shared her statement, echoing the message of courage and unity. Social media campaigns, fan art, and solidarity rallies followed, creating a movement that transcended sport. In Manila, young tennis players organized a rally at their training center, holding banners that read, "We stand with Coco. Racism has no place in tennis." Similar demonstrations occurred across Asia, Europe, and North America. The collective voice was powerful, showing that when athletes, fans, and communities unite, even isolated acts of hate can be transformed into a global statement of justice. Coco's response and emotional strength. Coco Gauff, moved by the support publicly acknowledged Eala's advocacy. Alexandra's words gave me strength. She reminded me that true power isn't just winning on the court. It's standing together when the world tries to tear us down. Gauff's poise and grace turned the narrative from victimhood to empowerment. Her refusal to be silenced became a symbol of resilience amplified by Eala's courageous support. The bond between the two young athletes, one American, one Filipino, became a global example of mentorship, solidarity, and the unifying power of sport, breaking the culture of silence. For years, tennis had struggled with a culture of silence around social and racial issues. Players were often warned against speaking out, and incidents of discrimination were downplayed. Eala's intervention marked a turning point. By speaking directly, boldly, and compassionately, she challenged the notion that silence was acceptable. She reminded the world that athletes have a voice and a platform, and that these tools should be used to defend justice. Remaining quiet allows hate to thrive. Eala explained, we have to use our voices not just for ourselves, but for those who may not have a platform to speak. Her statement encouraged players globally to voice their concerns, opening a conversation about inclusion and equality in sports that was both urgent and transformative. The movement beyond tennis. Eala's advocacy sparked initiatives beyond professional tennis. Youth programs, community sports centers, and schools began hosting discussions on inclusion and respect, teaching children that racism has no place in any arena. Social media campaigns inspired education materials, emphasizing empathy, diversity, and the value of standing up for others. Alexandra's quote became a mantra. No one should be attacked for the color of their skin, not in sport, not anywhere. It was repeated, shared, and celebrated. Lessons learned. The Wuhan Open incident and its aftermath delivered several enduring lessons. Athletes are human. Even stars are vulnerable to prejudice. Silence empowers hate. Speaking up is a responsibility. Courage is contagious. Eala inspired global solidarity. Unity amplifies change. Communities can transform individual acts of hate into movements of hope for fans, players, and organizations. These lessons prompted reflection, policy changes, and renewed commitment to inclusivity in sports. A legacy of courage and unity. Months later, both Coco Gauff and Alexander Eala continued to inspire. Coco's foundation expanded programs supporting youth, sports equality. Alexander partnered with international organizations to fight discrimination in athletics. Together, they demonstrated that sport is more than competition. It is a platform for advocacy, empathy, and connection. The court is not just a place to win points. Eala said it is a place to lift others, to fight for fairness, and to show that no one should be attacked for who they are. Their friendship, mentorship, and mutual support became a blueprint for future generations, showing that courage and solidarity can overcome even the harshest challenges. The power of unity. The 2025 Wuhan Open will be remembered not only for the matches played, but for the movement it inspired. What began as an act of hate was transformed into a global message of solidarity thanks to the courage of Alexander Eala and the resilience of Coco Gauff. Together they prove that tennis is more than sport. It is a vehicle for justice, empathy, and change. Their story reminds us all that when individuals stand together, the world listens, and sometimes it transforms. Tennis unites, and when it does, it becomes unstoppable. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next